We really believe in it, and time will tell if I'm right.
What just happened? What on earth just happened? Nico Harrison is either a fortune teller disguised as an NBA GM, he's either the luckiest man on earth, or, how do I say it? This was rigged? Right now, I don't know which one it is, but all I know is the Dallas Mavericks, after making the most shocking and confusing trade in NBA history, were just given one of the most shocking and confusing gifts in NBA history. Because that's exactly what this is. A gift to the Mavericks and the entire city of Dallas, who managed to go from losing a generational superstar to potentially gaining a new one in the span of just months. And you know something is so insane? When people aren't just speculating that it is rigged, the entire world believes it is rigged. I mean, Magnus Carlsen is even saying it. And honestly, I'm not someone who is much of a believer in sports being rigged, but can you blame them? 1.8% odds. Those were the chances of the Dallas Mavericks receiving the #1 overall pick. And with the season they had and the trade they made with not any franchise, but the biggest and most marketable franchise in the league, it is one major coincidence that they landed Cooper Flagg in the same year. And I'm not going to say anything, but LeBron James seems to think things are slightly suspicious when it comes to the draft lottery.
Listen, man, during the ball drop, Cleveland got the #1 pick. I just don't think that was.
Whoa, what are you
coincidence,
saying? Don't you think?
Wemby with the Spurs.
Oh my God! Let's keep LeBron home. You know what? Patrick Ewing to the Knicks. You know, Derrick Rose to the Bulls.
And honestly, I feel bad for Adam Silver if this is completely fair, which none of us truly know. I mean, a 2% chance is a 2% chance. It can happen. It's just insane that it happened given the circumstances. And that's why I feel bad for Adam Silver, because this should be one of the most shocking and dramatic stories in sports history. It already was after Luka was traded, and it became 10 times more dramatic following this lottery, but everyone is instead focused on calling it rigged. You know what I want to focus on right now, however? The Dallas Mavericks are getting Cooper Flagg. Let that sink in for a second. You can laugh at the trade they made for Luka Doncic. We've all laughed at it. Don't worry. But Anthony Davis is one of the best players in the NBA. Kyrie Irving is an all-NBA player who is coming off an injury, but I expect will get back to that level when he is fully healthy. Derek Lively, PJ Washington, Najee Marshall. This is a team that made the finals last year. They obviously traded Luka, Kyrie got injured, and the season just went upside down, leaving Nico Harrison looking like one of the most embarrassing people in the entire world. But this is a team that even without Luka would have been a playoff team at full strength over the next few years, and now they have added a potentially generational talent to that mix, the kind of prospect that you interview at the draft lottery. Let's remember, this isn't the draft, this is the lottery, and it is such a given and such a guarantee that even in a strong draft, Cooper Flagg will be #1, that they are interviewing him over a month before the draft. How do you think you'll enjoy Dallas? How do you think it'll be playing next to Anthony Davis and Kyrie Irving? This is a strong draft, and Cooper Flagg has cemented himself as such a great prospect that they are asking those questions a month ahead of time. And we've only seen this a few times in the last decade. And generally, when that's the case, the talent matches the hype. And if you want any idea as to why Cooper Flagg is seen as one of the best prospects in recent memory, I mean, he can do it all. This is literally a do-it-all Swiss Army knife prospect who has continued to improve every single week he played during the college season, to the point where he was ascending each game of the NCAA tournament as well. And if you want to talk about his offense, just watch a play like this, where the screen gets set for Flagg to get downhill, and with the second defender helping over, look at that spin to get inside and finish. Look, I know a lot of players can pull off a spin move, but it's the size, it's the quickness, it's the fluidity at which he moves that makes Flagg different. Or this time against a big man, setting him up by going left before the cross back to the right and the smooth pull-up jumper. And that's really just light work for Cooper. When you see he can pull off moves like this, going behind his back and then that hard drive right, rising up and knocking it down. Cooper Flagg can do it all. And then you have the numbers that back up what you can see with your eyes, averaging 19 points, 7.5 boards, 4 assists, 2.8 stocks, and honestly, that doesn't even do him justice when you consider the intangibles and just what he can do on both ends of the floor. And I think we realized Cooper Flagg was different when he took on Team USA as a 17-year-old and nearly led a group of young NBA players to victory against one of the greatest USA teams assembled. Yes, it was a scrimmage, I'm aware, but do you think the best basketball players on earth are not competitive enough to take a scrimmage seriously? I mean, how many guys, regardless of age, have you seen take the pressure from Drew Holiday handling the ball, getting a screen set for him, and then pulling up in the face of Anthony Davis, who, well, he'll be playing alongside going forward. That is insane. And then the very next possession of that play, he gets the ball off a turnover, pushing the pace, finding Keegan Murray, before then following up the miss for the and one. That's the combination of skill and motor that you have seen with Flagg at the college level, and you will see at the NBA level as well. And there was one thing that Nico Harrison kept mentioning after the trade was made for Anthony Davis, and possibly the only reason that any of us could see for him making the trade, which was defense. Again, not a good trade, let me make that clear, but building an identity around an elite defense with Anthony Davis, PJ Washington, Derek Lively, Daniel Gafford, and so forth, well, I'm going to tell you that didn't work in the second half of last year, but you were adding not just a special talent, but a special defensive talent in Cooper Flagg. Cooper Flagg and Anthony Davis. Forget about Najee Marshall and PJ Washington and Derek Lively and Daniel Gafford, who are all good defenders as well, and in their own right can be a part of a very good defense. When you have a potential pairing of Cooper Flagg and Anthony Davis, you look at Jared Allen and Evan Mobley in Cleveland, you look at Chet Holmgren and Isaiah Hartenstein in OKC, or what Al Horford and Kristaps Porzingis have done at times. Two bigs, two guys who can protect the rim, two guys who have versatility, two guys who put in effort and know what to do on the defensive end of the floor. This is a partnership that from the very first game of next year could be one of the best defensive partnerships in the NBA. I'm not saying Cooper Flagg won't have growing pains, but the same way Wemby came in and made a huge impact defensively, Cooper Flagg has that potential, and you're putting him next to one of the best defenders of this generation with other good defenders as well. This is going to be a special defense. Does Nico Harrison deserve this after pulling off the trade he did? I'm not sure, but if you're a Dallas fan, you should be excited, because outside of just the skill he has defensively and the measurements, he has the intangibles. You know, the mindset that you have of guys like Kevin Garnett and Draymond Green? Cooper Flagg has that same kind of mindset. I mean, who better to hear it from than his mother, who said this when comparing Cooper to Larry Bird. That's really, to me, what Larry Bird encapsulates as a player. He did whatever the team needed him to do night in and night out. Cooper is the same way. He isn't somebody who feels like the dirty work is beneath him. That's not saying he's going to be Larry Bird 2.0, but it is saying that same kind of defensive edge that have made some of the greatest players and defenders in NBA history. Cooper Flagg has that to go along with the skill and the intangibles that you can't teach. And now you are pairing him with Anthony Davis, and the Dallas Mavericks, after pulling off one of the most shocking and worst trades in NBA history, could be one of the best teams in the NBA over the next 5 years. Well, look, Dallas fans, I don't even know what to say. Anyways, if you enjoyed the video, want to see more content like this, drop a like, subscribe. Bye.